What up? What up? What up? Let's see. Perfect. Gold. Give me 1 second. I want to catch this gold entry on the 1 minute time frame. Let me start recording. Make sure my settings are right. You guys can hear me. Let me know if you can, because I don't know if I'm muted.
I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. All right. What's up, guys? Today is Tuesday, October 31st, and as usual, doing analysis for US 30, gold, and EU. So let me start with gold real quick because we do have an entry here, but I want to go down to the 1 minute time frame. So I'll go down to so this is a test and rejection of the 1 minute. So this was a test candle, rejection candle validated all the way up here. So the entry validated here, but I always say wait for a retracement to your SAR zone if you have that red flag. And also here I'd marked up the zone where somebody who took the trade upon validation would be at break even. So right now, and hopefully we didn't miss that. Let's see real quick. I need a 1 minute live SAR. Jeez. Perfect. So there goes the 1 minute. So we need two 1 minute candles to close above this zone. If that happens, I'll be taking a buy on gold. Buy on gold, 0.75% risk, 30 pips, stop loss, 60 pips TP. So as we wait for that to happen, daily bias on US 30, daily bias bearish. However, when we count the days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So right now we can turn on our momentum indicator. So the buy yesterday US 30 was bullish. However, it was on the 7th day. So again, I consider that still a retracement. And see. So if we get a buy any day from today, that buy is the one that we need to be wary about and start chilling on looking for sales. But however, for now on US 30, should be all good. Gold still bullish. I do know. Wait, I don't want to miss that. I do know if we turn on the momentum indicator on the daily, you can see it's been past 7 days. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we need, so you can see after the 7 day threshold, we've had two sales. So right now, even with my EA, I'm done looking for buys on US 30. I'm sorry, on gold. The idea here is that if you get two momentum switches or two momentum candles and your bias is still, so my bias is bullish and I've already gotten two momentum sales. So at this point, there's no need for me to start pushing for any buys, even with the EA. So right now, all my accounts that are trading my EA are closed. EU, so EU still bullish. The last daily closure was bullish. The dollar still bullish. The last daily closure was bullish. So right here, if gold closes in the next, so this is the second candle. I will be taking that trade as an official trade. Let's see. We need this current 1 minute candle to close above that live SAR. So I don't want it to be too high of a candle. Just here is fine. 2, 1, and just a second. I want to make sure it closed above. I'm in the buy on gold. I got slipped up a little bit, but I'm in the trade. 0.75% risk, 30 pips stop loss, 60 pips TP. So that's a trade that validated on the 15-minute time frame. So I'll go back to the 15-minute time frame because I don't like watching 1 minute candles. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys didn't tell me that I haven't shared my screen. Okay. So hopefully you guys can see that. So the trade is running. US 30 is dumping, right? So I had sent a trade idea this morning on US 30, a sell at the top here. We'll go ahead and review that, but let's see how this gold trade pumps. So if we achieve 1:1 risk to reward, remember, you go ahead and set break even. So this is the point. If gold gets to 1999.8, you go ahead and set break even and you let the trade ride. So US 30, reviewing this. If we do this for US 30, you guys can see, I think the entry was what, 15 minutes. So this was a triple sell SAR zone. So this was a break candle. The next candle was a continuation candle. So with this one, you could have either entered either on the closure of the candle because the entry would have allowed for you to have a nice stop loss or your stop loss next to that zone right there. So either whether you did that or you waited for the 1 minute entry, you can see US 30 dropped from here on, right? And it's been dropping and dropping. So I'd sent that in the trade ideas this morning. Personally, I didn't enter. I prefer taking my trades post New York Open. Gold is currently running, so just watch that position. Also, I like how we do have this momentum entry that's right here. However, right, the entry wasn't based off of momentum. The entry was based off of test and rejection of a double SAR buy zone. Let's see real quick. So here, as gold runs, so let's see what other opportunities we have present. So US 30. So US 30 has been doing setups this whole morning. So it did that break and continuation on the 15-minute time frame that I showed you guys, and then has been dropping. This was also, I think this is a 30-minute zone, but this is another 15-minute zone break continuation. This was another sell entry on US 30 right here. Whether you decided to enter on candle closure or whether you decided to wait for retest of the entry and find an entry on the 1 minute, that was another break and continuation. Again, right here, break candle, continuation candle, you go ahead and enter there. Again, full TP for that one. So US 30 give multiple entries on the 15-minute time frame this morning. If we go to the 30-minute time frame, 30-minute time frame, we had a sell momentum entry right there. Also, we did have, this is a 30-minute zone. So this is a test candle. This is your rejection candle. So personally, I was actually looking to take a trade right here because this was a test and rejection. Because if you remember when I sent it to you guys in the Discord, for me, I would have rather taken this test and rejection entry for the 30-minute time frame. Now, this was the test candle. This was a double sell SAR zone. Now, this was the rejection candle. So what I did, I went ahead and marked up for somebody who took the trade upon validation right here, what point would they have set break even, right? Because that was the trade, because this is your test candle, this is your continuation candle. So by the time when I saw this candle get all the way here, where somebody who had taken the trade upon candle closure would have set break even, I went ahead and forgot about waiting for price to retrace here. So that was one entry. Unfortunately, price didn't come back, but that was a test and rejection on the 30-minute time frame. On the 30-minute time frame as well, I think we had two other. Yep, this was another 30-minute zone there. But anyway, so for US 30, nothing where price currently is right now. Gold is still running. So again, when gold reaches 1999.7, set break even. So I'm anticipating a pump in gold right now. EU is in a double buy SAR. However, there's no test or rejection entry. You can see these candles are closing within the SAR zone. Give me 1 second. So nothing for EU today. So the only trade here is gold that's currently running. I'm currently up $500. Let's go to the momentum, see if we have any momentum setups. So starting with US 30 on the daily time frame, here, so for tomorrow, tomorrow's FOMC and Thursday and Friday is NFP. 33,293. I do anticipate during either FOMC or NFP, price will tap this zone and then sell off. So 33,293, that's ideally the last valid sell momentum entry on the daily time frame, because this wasn't the highest candle of this retracement. The previous 1 to 3 candles had retraced or had rejected off of an SAR zone. Again, on the daily time frame, we don't care if candles are above or below the HMA price. So for me, I'm still seeing 33,293 as a critical sell area, daily selling area for US 30. So again, this current sell momentum on the daily, if this closes, this is an invalid sell because this is the highest candle of this retracement right here. That's the highest candle of that retracement. So again, invalid sell just by that. If we look at the buys, this buy is invalid ideally because so it's not the lowest candle of this retracement. However, the previous candle had not rejected off of an SAR. So there's no daily momentum entries for US 30 on the 4-hour time frame. Now, when we come down to the 4-hour, anything lower than the daily time frame, we need the signal candle to be below the moving average. So when we come down to the 4-hour, 1 hour, 30-minute, 15-minute timeframes, you can apply the moving average filter. This will take out the invalid signals. Personally, I do not, because I'm able to filter it out visually. Since I'm the one who developed the indicators. So right now, this sell on the 4-hour time frame, this sell is invalid ideally because it's the highest candle of this retracement to the upside. So already I can tell that sell is invalid, as much as I can tell it's below the EMA or HMA. This buy is invalid. It's the previous 1 to 3 candles. There's no candle that rejected off of a moving average. Off of an SAR. Then we go down to the 1-hour time frame. For the 1-hour time frame, this sell signal is invalid. The reason because, and this is gold should be at set break even on gold. Gold already achieved break even. Already achieved a 1:1 risk to reward. So personally, I'm up 1,100, 1,200. I'll go ahead and set break even for this trade. So again, this was an official trade based off of a test and rejection, and I had sent that same trade setup in the Discord way back, and I said I was waiting to enter on the 1-minute time frame. So luckily, we got that entry on the 1-minute time frame on the live session. But anyway, right now, my stop loss is at break even. And at this point, I can go ahead and delete this markup that showed me where break even would have been. Also here, we are lining up for another double buy SAR zone. So I'll go ahead and mark that up real quick. So that's on the 15-minute. US 30 has given us a break and continuation entry. So if I go ahead and mark it up, this is the zone I'm looking at right here. So this is a possible break and continuation sell in the direction of daily bias. So this is your break candle. This is your break candle. This is your continuation candle. So if this continuation candle closes here, of course, I'm not going to take the trade because what's the red flag? The red flag is overextension. So for me, I'll wait for this trade up here. But whenever this candle closes, I'll do my markup such that I need to know the person who takes the trade upon validation, when would they be at a break even so that I know whether to forget about the trade or not. So that is a possible US 30 trade we are getting. And again, this is the importance of these momentum signals. It shows you when buyers or sellers are stepping into the market. So let's go back to the momentum, looking for momentum entries for US 30 on the hourly. So we say this hourly sell was invalid. This is the highest candle of this move up. This buy right here was invalid because it's the lowest candle of this retracement to the downside. So nothing for US 30 with the with the momentum indicator. So we move on to gold and do the same analysis. So for gold, right here, let's start with the daily time frame and see what we have on the daily. So gold on the daily time frame. Also, you guys can secure profit on gold if you want. Personally, I'll just let it run. We just have a bunch of opportunities today, so I'm not really in a rush to just close out trades. All right, gold on the daily time frame. This sell is invalid. As much as it's not the highest candle of this retracement to the upside, I would have wanted to see this previous candle rejecting off of an SAR level. So this sell is invalid on gold. This buy, even though it closes on gold, is invalid ideally because it's the lowest candle of this retracement to the downside. On the daily time frame, we don't care whether price is above or below the HMA or the moving average. So we move down to the 4-hour time frame. So right now in the 4-hour time frame, again, this is where your signal candle, if you're looking for sales, needs to be below the moving average. If you're looking for buys, needs to be above. And also in the momentum indicator, you do have that option to filter out signals. So again, I said for me, since I'm the one who created this indicator, or it's based off of my logic, I can visually eliminate those candles. So on the 4-hour time frame, no valid buy right here. All these buys are invalid. Even if I was to actually put in the moving average filter, which can do some of the work for me, you'll see it will take out some of the buys right there automatically, right? So same here. If I want to do the same thing for the cells, I do the moving average filter, and that takes out all the cells. So it really, really helps you avoid confusion. On the hourly time frame, no current valid buy on US 30. I'm sorry, on gold, no current valid sell. Now, for this sell, why is this sell not valid? When this sell came up, this candle was the highest candle of this move to the upside. So it was an invalid sell. Now, keep in mind, this is only based off of the moving average strategy. You can use momentum to show you where buyers and sellers are sitting or are stepping in. So if you have other confluences to show you that gold was supposed to sell at 2,000, then you could have used this as a confluence. So just because I'm saying it's invalid, it's only invalid based off of the strategy that I teach. The moving average strategy, remember, if you're looking for a sell, the candle, if you're looking for a sell, anything below the daily time frame, if you're looking for a sell, anything below the daily time frame, the candle, the sell, the signal, the signal candle should not be the highest candle of the move. So this candle that gave you the sell signal was the highest candle of this retracement to the upside. Again, this is the momentum strategy by itself. This is not related to the SAR strategy in any way. Now here, this candle was the highest candle of this move. But let's assume it wasn't the highest candle of the move, and let's actually assume the high of this signal candle that gave you a sell was below the high of this previous candle. Now, would that signal still be valid or invalid? The signal candle would still be invalid because we didn't have, I would have wanted to see this previous candle rejecting off of an SAR level. So again, here, there are no SAR levels, but you can use this momentum indicator as a confluence to any of your other strategies. If you had anything telling you that gold was going to sell at 2,000, then you can use the momentum, signal just by itself to catch the move. So here on the 1-hour time frame, there is no valid entries for gold. Now, let's look at what happened last night. So last night, and the gold trade is currently in profit. So I'm up maybe $1,700 right now. So give me 1 second. Let me. So gold is pushing up. So this is the gold trade we took when the live session started. So it should be at break even. So just keep monitoring this gold trade. Now, again, let's go back to the momentum indicator and let me show you the entries for EU had an amazing entry this morning and gold had an amazing entry last night. And again, I'm really pushing for somebody to really tie down the the momentum strategy, because I think it's the second best strategy to the SAR strategy. And especially because it gives you buy and sell signals. The SAR strategy does not give you buy and sell signals. Unfortunately, I couldn't have those coded in. But let's look at US 30, actually was US 30. Last night, let's look at US 30. What happened with US 30? So, and again, with the SAR strategy, we do not want to trade between periods of 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. With the momentum strategy, you can trade anytime. It doesn't matter whether it's the fake out hours, what I call fake out hours, 3 p.m. to 11, because remember what I always tell you guys, the kryptonite to any of my strategies is low liquidity in the market and ranging markets. But the momentum strategy is able to override that. Now, let's look at what happened with US 30 yesterday. With US 30, this is on the hourly time frame. So if you want, right, you go ahead. So for me on the hourly time frame here, the moving average filter is turned on. Now, let's keep looking at what happened with US 30 this whole time. So this 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 signals right here are invalid cells, just those 4. Why are they invalid cells? So let's start with the bottom one. And gold is still pushing up. So I can US 30, let's see, 4 more minutes, but it's going to be overextended. So no need to even try to think about entering US 30. So let's start with this. Why is this cell invalid? So this cell, yes, it's not the highest candle of this move to the upside. So that's fine. So it satisfies that requirement. However, the previous 1 to 3 candles, none of those candles rejected off of an SAR level. So for this cell to have been valid, I would have wanted to see some cell SARs around this point. So there were no cell SARs around this point. So automatically, and yes, the moving average filter is on. So it also satisfies, since it's on the hourly time frame, it also satisfies the requirement of price being below the moving average. However, the rule that invalidated this sell momentum yesterday on the hourly was because the previous 1 to 3 candles had not rejected off of an SAR level. Okay, why is this sell invalid? Same thing. Yes, it's not the lowest candle of this retracement to the upside. However, the previous candle or the previous 1 to 3 candles had not rejected off of an SAR. So invalid sells. And yes, it was below the moving average. So for me, I've turned off the moving average right here, but you can see price was below the moving average. So it did satisfy that requirement. This sell right here, again, same thing, but this sell breaks 2 rules. It breaks the rule of it is here, it's the highest candle of this retracement to the upside. So it breaks that rule. So it's already the highest candle. So it's invalid. But also, if you want to look, there are no SARs around this zone where the previous candles rejected, but it satisfies the rule of being below the moving average. So you can see the moving average right there. But since I've already put the moving average filter on, I don't have a need for the moving average to be on the chart. Now, this cell right here, okay, and gold just hit full TP right there. So we just gained another 1.5%. So this was at a break even and gold just hit full TP. So I'm up for the day 15. No, what is that? $3,000. So that's 1.5% on a 200K account. So let me just go ahead and record that right here. So today is the last trading day of the month and we just made 1.5% just like that. So I need to, give me 1 second. I need to, 53. I need to adjust this right here because some months have like an extra. Some, give me 1 second. Copy. Paste M53 to M53. So just like that, we are ending the month with 4.5%. So if you guys remember, the first week of the month, losses, right? We started with losses, 0.75 minus 0.75. Second week, right? The first couple of trades, the first 2 weeks of the month, just back-to-back losses and some break evens. But you can see with the importance of having a nice risk to reward strategy, now we just ended the month with 4.5%. So if you started the month with me and taking every official trade I send either in the Discord or on the live session, if you're doing phase 1, you'd be halfway through. If you're in phase 2, you'd be almost done with phase 2. And keep in mind, I also send like some other trade ideas in the group that you can either use. So this just shows for me, the 1:2 risk to reward is working while setting break even at a 1:1. So I really have no need to change that. The best I can do right now is try to improve that. But anyway, if you caught that gold buy with me, that was a nice buy. So this US30, let me analyze US30 before I go back to that gold chart right now. So this US30 will close in the next 50 seconds. However, what is a red flag of this setup? Yes, it is a break continuation entry. This is the double SAR zone we are trading. So this one at this point moves from a possible break and continuation to a break and continuation, because I don't think if in the next 35 seconds, this candle will spike all the way up. So I don't think so, unless we have heavy news at 10. But this should validate as a break and continuation. So now, yes, if you enter on this on candle closure, the trade is valid. However, I always say your stop loss has to always be above the SAR zones you're trading. So personally, the way I do it nowadays, if something is overextended like this, I'm not willing to take that risk. So I'll just wait for US30 to retrace to this zone, to this double SAR zone. And then since this candle has just closed, I'm curious, because I know there are people who don't care whether price is overextended or not, right? So I need to see, like right now, when the trade validated, where would somebody who doesn't care about overextension, where would they be setting break even at? So, right, this is the person who doesn't care about overextension. But for me, I want to be safe, and I care about overextension because I've realized if I'm patient with my entries and wait for retracement in overextension validations, I have a better win rate. But I'm curious, this person who entered upon candle closure, where would they be setting break even for the trade? So this is why I've marked up this line right here. So if US30, what I'm anticipating, I want US30 to retrace back to this zone before getting to this zone. The idea is that I want US30 to come back and tag me into the trade before giving this person a 1:1 risk to reward, because this is not the strategy that I teach. I do not teach entering overextended trades. So I don't want this person to make money because he or she is not following my strategy. But are there times this person will make money before the trade coming back to me? Yes, there are times like that. But how many times will those be? Are they more than when price has retraced back and tapped me in? No, they're not. The amount of times the person who gets into an overextended trade will achieve either full TP or break even, those times are fewer than the times price retraces. So at this point, you can see this is one of those times. So at this time, the person who entered upon the trade, upon a candle closing, they have already been given a 1:1 risk to reward. And at this point, if they're still following some of my rules, which clearly they wouldn't be, but let's assume when they achieve 1:1 risk to reward, they go ahead and set break even. So at this point, myself who's waiting for a retracement, I have no business waiting for a retracement, because this one time, US30 or whatever instrument I'm trading has already given this person profit before coming back to tag me in. And I'm fine with that, because I know, yes, this happens, but the amount of times the retracement happens before giving this person profit is more than the amount of times instruments give such people profits before coming back to me. So do I feel any FOMO? No, because after back testing, I know that I have a higher win rate just by waiting for a retracement. So at this point, I go ahead and delete, and then I need to start from scratch and wait for a new setup for US30. But again, do I feel bad? No, I already took the win on gold right here. So anyway, let's go back to that. Wait, give me a second. Let's see. Do you have anything on EU? Nothing on EU right now. I know the EU master Steven is in here, but no setups even with the buys right here, right? The only thing we have a possible, this is a triple by SAR zone. But anyway, the test candle, so this would be a test and rejection entry, but even the test candle has not validated yet. So nothing even close by to look at for EU. So let's go back here for analyzing the momentum strategy. Here, the momentum strategy. So we were on this candle right here. So with this candle, Audrey, I'm trying to see how that account, I want to see, I think I'll turn off this. Wait, give me a second. I normally have like 1,000 systems running. So I just turned off that system. Yeah, so why is this sell invalid right here? This sell is invalid because, okay, is it the highest candle of the retracement of this move up? Yes, it's the highest candle. So at that point, it just invalidates just by that. But even looking around, the previous candles had rejected off of an SAR, but just by being the highest candle of this retracement, this sell at the top is invalid. But this sell right here, is this sell valid or not? So let's go through the rules. Is it the highest candle of this retracement? No, it's not. So it's valid. It checks that first box. What's the second box? Okay. From the previous 1 to 3 candles, has any of those candles rejected off of an SAR? Yes. This candle, so the previous second candle and the previous third candles, both rejected off of SAR zones. And keep in mind here, if you're trading the momentum strategy by itself, you don't care about double sell SAR zones or double SAR zones or triple or whatnot. You just need the previous 1 to 3 candles of a signal candle to have rejected off of an SAR zone. It doesn't matter whether it's a double, triple. Of course, the more the better, but it doesn't really matter because you just want to see some support or resistance depending on the direction you're trading. Okay, also, is this sell candle below the moving average since we're looking for sells? So since I've already put in the moving average filter in the inputs of the indicator, I know that automatically this sell, because it's being shown right here, it's already below the moving average. So this was a valid sell yesterday, and it actually came at 6 p.m. during market open yesterday. And this is where I come in and say, with the momentum strategy, it doesn't matter the time of day you're getting these moves. And I have personally seen this momentum strategy entries, especially on the hourly and 4-hour timeframes. They come during fake out hours, during Asia session, because what happens during Asia session, sometimes price goes into some sort of consolidation, and in that consolidation area, you normally see some support or resistance areas. So price is just sitting there. So think of it as like a chicken brooding, right? So it's just like a comfort level. So that's the comfort level before the actual move happens. And if you can, which is what I think the momentum indicator gives you, it shows you where those orders are filling in. As price is being consolidating or having low liquidity, at some point, market makers are pumping in prices just slowly, or orders just slowly and slowly and slowly. And what the momentum indicator shows you is that the levels at which these orders are being pumped up or pumped into the market. So right here for US 30, this was a valid sell on the hourly time frame. Now, one of the reasons why I say the candle should not be the highest or the lowest candle of a move, depending on the direction you're looking at, is that it gives you an allowance of where to set your stop loss. So for example, here, since this wasn't the lowest candle of the move, I could have even had a stop loss above the previous candle's high, or above this previous SAR level. Because remember, with a momentum indicator, you need that support or resistance to push price back down. Now here, for me, I would still have stuck with the 50 pip stop loss, 100 pips TP. So let's see what happened afterwards. So afterwards, you can see trade started off in a little bit of drawdown, but look at what happened the rest of the night. So at this point, this person would have been at break even once they achieved a 1:1 risk to reward somewhere around here, 50 pips right there. So this trade would have just ended up at break even. Now, personally, the reason why I like waiting for post New York to take trades, even for example, the gold trade we took, some of these trades you take either sometimes during Asia session or a few, maybe an hour or 30 minutes before New York session. Yes, they may be valid, but sometimes they end up at break even, or sometimes you can end up in a loss. Ideally, because remember, manipulation hours and fake out hours. So for me, I'm not really, like nowadays, I'm not in a hurry to take any trades because I know my strategy, and I know my strategy, even though like yesterday, it didn't really give me any setups. Like a day like today, if I wanted, I have like maybe 5 setups I can see in the market. So this is one of the reasons I don't trade Asia, and also sometimes before New York, open because I just don't want to be in a trade just for the sake of it. But anyway, that was a valid sell entry right there on gold. The other one I loved, there was the EU buy that came up this morning. So let's go ahead and review this EU buy at the bottom. So if I go ahead and replay this, so let's see, those SARs should be loading. There they are. Okay, so if we review this buy right here, is this buy valid or not? So to me, this is a valid buy. Why? Number one, is it the lowest candle of this move to the downside? No, it is not. So it satisfies that requirement. So it checks that box. Okay. Have the previous 1 to 3 candles before the signal candle rejected off of any SAR level? Yes, they have. The previous candle rejected off of it. The previous and the previous to the previous candle also rejected off of it. Okay. Is this candle, is the signal candle above the moving average? So I already know here, I've applied the moving average filter. So I know the signals that are showing are based off of moving average filters. So yes, this was a valid buy on EU. So at that point, you go ahead and do your entry on EU. And nowadays I do like a 15 pip stop on FX pairs like EU and 30 pip TP. So if you took this trade, and I was actually thinking of taking it because I was up early this morning, but again, I didn't take it. But with this one, started off in profit, came back to draw down a little bit, and then spiked up into profit right there. So at this point, this person would have been at break even, and that would have been a nice full TP on EU right there. So that's the importance of following the strategies. There's one more thing I want to go over. Okay, wait. So now US 30. Now this is why I was saying I didn't want to wait for a retracement. So right now, if you are waiting for a retracement right now, this person who was given a 1:1 risk to reward. So remember that trade we marked up. So this person would have been taken out at break even. So if you're looking to jump into US 30 now, based off of that trade that I'd marked up, you would be looking to chase an invalid trade because this person who already took this trade upon validation has been taken out at break even. Now, if you're looking to chase this trade or to take this trade right here, you would be taking a trade that somebody else has been taken out at break even. So if you lost that trade, you'd be in a loss, but the person who didn't follow the rules would be at break even. So both of you who are not following the rules, there's one person who would be at break even. The other person would ideally maybe be at stop loss if you choose to take this trade. So for this trade, I would want to wait for a possible test and rejection. So remember, all these zones are static. These zones that US 30 validated on the way down, they're still static. So here, you just be patient, and US 30 can give you a test and rejection entry here on the 15-minute time frame. If it wants to keep pumping up, that's well and good. There's a sell zone right here. There's a sell zone right here. There's a sell zone again at the top here. Personally, I think the best sell area, I think this is what US 30 might do. This zone right here, this is a nice sell area, but also this, you see this top right here. If we go to the 30-minute time frame, there's a sell momentum signal that came up there. So I know that there's heavy selling pressure. Sellers are sitting at 33,136. So I think US 30 might come back all the way to the top there. But right now, I do see a 30-minute setup. We have 17 minutes. I'll go over that real quick. There was something I wanted to go over for US 30 yesterday. So I went over how to do the momentum strategy on the 4-hour and 1-hour time frames. Now on the 30-minute and 15-minute time frames. So if you guys remember yesterday, there's this trade idea I sent for US 30. This one right here. So this trade setup was based off of a 15-minute. So let's see if we can find that entry again. So that was US 30. It was near market closure. It was like 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No, it was this one maybe. Yeah. So it was this sell momentum strategy. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it was this one right here. And hopefully this can go all the way back there. Gold is a rocket, man. That was a nice trade. So this sell momentum right here. So with this sell momentum, so same thing. If you're trading the momentum strategy, whether it's on the 4 hour, whether it's on the 1 hour, so consider all those three rules. So right here, for this sell, is it the highest, the signal candle, is it the highest candle of this retracement? No, it's not. Have any of the previous 1 to 3 candles rejected off of an SAR? Yes, the previous candle did, and the candle before that did. Is this candle that gave you the sell entry below the moving average? So I know I already have the moving average filter in here, so I know it satisfied that. Now, here, was it? I don't know if it was this one. Maybe not. Let me see. Let me go back because this was in the Discord. Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was that entry right there. So normally, here what you could have done. So I said I was waiting for, and again, I'm still trying to come up with how to enter trades on the 15-minute and 30-minute time frame for the momentum strategy. Because ideally, what I like with momentum strategy, I think the best thing to do, if you get the candle that gives you the momentum entry or the momentum signal, you go ahead and mark up the high or low of the candle. So if it's a sell, you go ahead and mark up the high of the candle, because what that tells you is that that's where the sellers or the buyers came in. So what I was looking for here yesterday, I was looking for price to come back to this zone, to the high of that candle. To the high of that candle. And again, same thing, you go ahead and mark up. For somebody who takes the candle or the entry on impulse, you go ahead and mark up. So remember, if your decision is to always wait for a retracement, always mark up the zone where the person who takes the trade on validation would be at a 1:1, so that you avoid FOMOing and being faked out. So what I was waiting for me, I wanted price to retrace to this zone 32,939, and then I was going to go down to the 1 minute time frame. Now here, and if I go to the 1 minute time frame here, unfortunately, there will be some SARs. But yesterday, because US 30 had not been in this zone for a while, the 1 minute SARs had, there were no existing 1 minute SARs. So here, if you look at the trade I entered right here, so same thing. I entered the trade, but you don't see any 1 minute SARs. So I know, like in the SAR strategy by itself, when we go down to the 1 minute or 5 minute timeframes, we trade a live SAR. But remember, the momentum strategy is separate from the SAR strategy. So what I was testing out here, do you still need rejection off of SAR levels when you come down to the 1 minute or 5 minute time frame? Now, this trade started off in drawdown, and luckily I took screenshots. So this trade started off in drawdown. Why did it start off in drawdown? So yes, the validation had happened on the 15-minute. I got rejection off of SARs and all of that. But when I came down to the 1 minute, there were no SARs in that zone. Now, again, not a live 1 minute SAR, but just general past SARs. There was no SARs at that zone because US 30 had not been in this zone in a while, and the 500 candle threshold had already been exhausted. But what I did here, I waited for a sell entry, a sell momentum entry on the 1 minute, which is what I entered the trade with. Now here, why did this trade go into drawdown, if you ask me? And I almost got stopped out. The reason it went into drawdown, price wasn't rejecting off of any SARs here. So there was no, if you're looking to sell, the importance of rejection of an SAR is that price should have a ceiling that's preventing it from breaking up. If you're looking to buy based off of, oh, gold is pumping. If you're looking to buy based off of a buy momentum signal, you want those SARs at the bottom there so that they can prevent price from flashing down. So here, the reason I think this trade went into drawdown, there were no US 30 had not been here for a while, so there were no SARs here on the 1 minute time frame. But what I realized in future, how I will approach this trade going forward. So if I'm looking to take a 15-minute, a 30-minute momentum entry, but then I have to go down to the 1 minute or 5 minute entry, either because the trade is overextended or I'm waiting for that retracement to that high or low of the candle that gave the signal, is that even though price has not been in that zone previously, therefore, again, so the idea here is that the same rules, those three rules, whether you're using them on the 30-minute time frame, whether you're using them on the 15-minute time frame, if you go down to the 1 minute time frame or 5-minute time frame, you should still use those three rules on the momentum strategy. A, make sure that the signal candle is not the highest candle of the retracement. Make sure that the candle is above or below the moving average, i.e., have the moving average filter on. Also, make sure that the previous 1 to 3 candles rejected, 1 to 3 candles before the signal candle rejected off of an SAR. So in future, if I ever get this trade set up again and I go down to the 1 minute and there are no 1 minute SARs at that point, all you have to do is wait, because remember, you're now trading the 1 minute SAR. SARs print quicker on the 1 minute time frames vis-a-vis any higher time frame. So if you look at here, this whole time, the move to the upside, for example, here US 30 printed this live 1 minute SAR there, right? So it started printing something. So right here, if I had waited, all I would have done was to wait for price to break down this live 1 minute SARs that were being created and wait for a sell entry right there. So in future, that's how I'll approach that. And I took out this trade at break even. I knew US 30 was going to flash from there, but again, I put in, and this was the result right there, right? So you can see US 30 broke down those SARs it created and flashed to the downside. And you can see in here in the description, I said that for me, I would rather lose to following my rules than win by breaking a small rule. I could have easily held this trade and it actually went to full TP, but I really did not want to win based off of breaking my rule, because and people are different, but personally, I know myself, if I break one simple rule, subconsciously over time, I'll start ignoring the same rule in higher timeframes and in other timeframes, and that will just lead me to losing. So literally this whole week, I haven't had any losses, and I didn't just want to win like 1.5% just by ignoring the entry. But anyway, so in future, I'm still learning how to apply the momentum strategy on the 30-minute, 15-minute, and again, 1 minute and 5 minute. So even for me, it's still a learning situation. But at the very end, what I've discovered is that those three rules, if you're using the momentum strategy, those three rules, whether it's the 1 minute, 5 minute, 15-minute, 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, you should always follow those three rules to the T. And the best thing with the momentum strategy, it will always give you another entry like almost every other candle. So there's no need to feel like you're missing out. So that's just one thing I wanted to cover there. So if there are any questions, feel free to ask. And if you guys haven't watched, so I normally do weekly trade recaps. If you go on YouTube, you'll see them. So I know so definitely those ones are much shorter than the live sessions. So if you still do not understand the momentum strategy, the SAR strategy, just go to my channel on YouTube and you'll see the weekly recap videos I normally do, right? This weekly recap. So I normally go over every official trade that we either win or lose, right? Whether it's a win, whether it's a loss, and I go over the logic of it. What is a double, what is a test and rejection? I'm actually working on uploading last week's recap, right? So if you don't understand those, just go ahead and watch. You can see some are 37 minutes, some are 20 minutes. So this, if you watch this back to back, you literally be quick like this in identifying whether it's a momentum entry, whether it's a SAR entry. So gold went to full TP for us. I don't see any other entry. EU right here, real quick. Give me 1 second. So this entry on EU, for those, I'm not looking to take any EU trade, but right here, this is a test and rejection, possible test and rejection for buy. So this current 15-minute candle tested, I know it's a triple sell SAR, but I'll just call it a double. So this is the test candle. This is your rejection candle. So again, if this candle closes all the way up here, this is too overextended. I would not take that. And again, we still need this rejection candle to close for this trade to validate. So again, my entry would still be here. And at this point, I would drop down to the 1 minute time frame. Again, remember, this is based off of the SAR strategy and not momentum. So there's these two momentum buys, I can automatically tell that they're invalid. Every time you can see this buy candles, these candles are the lowest candles of this retracement to the downside. So this is an invalid buy. Again, this other one down here is an invalid buy. This was also a let's see how far. Nope, this buy momentum on gold. This was the lowest candle of the retracement. But anyway, this gold trade was based off of an SAR entry. Let me know if you guys have any questions, but hopefully you took the gold win with me, up 1.5%.
Maybe you could use that as an extra confluence when you're using the SAR strategy if that pops up, but like don't make it the rejection strategy, but just like as an extra confluence. Since it's lowest, but it is a double SAR, so it could just be a confluence, not as a buy signal necessarily.
Yeah, I mean I do that, but one thing I don't want, once I start relating the two, I confuse myself. So what I subconsciously I do use it as an extra and not a confluence, because the SAR strategy is good by itself, but I use it as an extra, I don't want to call it confluence. Like if I'm in a buy based off of the SAR strategy, I want to see buy momentum developing, right? But I won't like consciously say, oh, I like how we're having, I won't say the momentum strategy is kicking in here, if that makes sense. So I don't use it as a confluence, but if I'm in a buy based off of the SAR strategy, yes, I want to see momentum signals printing for a buy, but I'm not really going to be excited, because once I start trying to use it as a confluence to the SAR strategy, at some point you'll start getting again, for me personally, at some point I'll start getting confused and start misinterpreting the two. Yeah, but if it works for you, you can use it as a confluence for any other strategies that you guys use. US 30, 15 minutes. So let's start with this 30-minute real quick. So there's a 30-minute entry building here for US 30. This is a break and continuation entry, and I like how we are having this. So this is break and continuation sell. So this was your, let me make sure. Okay, perfect. So this is a double sell SAR zone right here. So this candle, if I replay this, so I want you guys to watch this area right here. So this zone right here, I can tell that's the 15-minute zone, but we're on the 30-minute time frame. But on the 30-minute time frame, you can see we have this 2 sell SAR zone. So look at this candle. Okay, it does not close below. But the next candle breaks and closes below that double sell SAR zone, right? Okay, perfect. This candle is your continuation candle. For this trade setup to validate, you need this current 30-minute candle in the next 3 minutes to close below these SAR zones. So here now is when I need to start thinking, if this candle, because it looks like it's going to close close to the SAR zones, am I willing to take this trade? So now is when I need to start thinking about it. Let me see. So this is a 30-minute candle. Ideally, I would want my stop loss to be below that previous high. I wish we had gotten a momentum entry right here, momentum signal. Let's see what's around here. So we do not have anything. We have a daily bullish low right there. Yeah, that is just a red flag. I could based off of how prices move, I like how we are having this selling pressure right here, but we have a daily bullish order block there. So this daily order blocks rarely come up, and I think that's what propped up price either early this morning or yeah, I'm not gonna take that trade. I like the setup, but we've already made 1.5%, unless maybe I risk. So let me think this through real quick. Let me see where the buyers and sellers are. Okay, so we don't have any buyers here. That's good. If we had any buyers sitting at this order block, I would have been more cautious. So we don't have any. This one is always on. Auto lock 30 seconds. We don't have any buyers sitting here, so that's perfect. So what I want this in the next 1 minute candle. I don't want this trade to validate next to this SARs. I want it to validate lower so that I wait for a retracement, because here, one red flag I can see with this trade, we have a daily bullish low, but yes, we don't have any buyers that are sitting there, or smart money buyers that are sitting there. But this wick right here, I would have wanted this to be a momentum signal, to be a momentum entry. But anyway, we have 45 minutes before this trade either validates or not. But keep in mind, even in the next 30 minutes, this trade can easily invalidate, because this current 30-minute candle can close inside here. So what I'm hoping for is either this trade to invalidate, because we do have that daily bullish order block, or either invalidate by closing in between these SARs, or US30 to sink heavy so that I have to wait for a retracement. I really don't want it to retrace or to validate right here. So let's see what happens. And keep in mind, this is the 30-minute time frame. So, and there you go. It did not. Let's see whether it's going to validate or not. Probably not. Okay, perfect. So the trade invalidated. So hopefully you guys can see why the trade invalidated. The continuation candle did not close below this SAR zone. So, and I'm actually happy it did not validate. What I would want here, I would want a sell momentum signal. That is what I really want right there. So nothing for US30 on the 30 minutes, on the 15-minute time frame. This is a possible break and continuation entry right here. So this is the break candle. This is the continuation candle. So again, this is a possible break and continuation entry. Let's see whether this validates or not. I really want US30 to go up and test that high, whether it's on the 15-minute or 30-minute, and I want it to reject back down to the downside. This is a break and continuation sell, possible break and continuation sell. So what I would want in the next 13 minutes, so we have 13 minutes before this candle closes. In the next 13 minutes, I want US30 to go up to this zone right here, and reject heavily, and this 15-minute candle to close as a bearish candle, and hopefully close right next to those SARs, because that will be such a nice sell for US30. So anyway, we have 13 minutes for that to either validate or not. Nothing for gold. 15-minute, we already took that trade. 30-minute, this is a double by SAR, but there's nothing here. There's no test or rejection. There's no break and continuation there. EU. Okay, so again, EU validated here, but again, red flag. Even with a 15 pip stop loss, the SAR zone you're trading would be 99% or 95% of your stop loss. So this is one of those trades. So it already validated as a test and rejection. However, this is a trade you'd wait for a retracement, and you go ahead and enter on the 1 minute time frame. But at this point, you also mark up where somebody who entered on validation, where would this person achieve a 1:1 risk to reward, so that they would be at break even. So you know when not to chase the trade. So EU, I would wait for EU to test this zone and give me an entry on the live 1 minute SAR setup. So I can wait to see if this US30 will validate in the next 15 minutes. If not, that should be the end of the live session. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. And I can go over those questions. I'll just send this. This reflection is killing me. All right. So yeah, I'll hang around for like 10 or so minutes to see how US 30 does. What account is that on? Also, I'm still being on the lookout for, so I switched what indicator I'm using for the SAR. So it's and there's no difference between what indicator you're using for the SAR. The reason I'm saying that is the reason I'm using the momentum indicator. I want to be on the lookout for the momentum signals. So that's why I'm using the momentum indicator for the SARs. I was using the reversal indicator, but regardless of what indicator you're using, the SARs are the same. The difference was I used to have the reversal signals. Remember, the SAR strategy is built into every indicator that I have, so they're kind of merged. But since the SAR strategy does not have signals, all the other indicators by themselves have signals. So previously, I was using the reversal indicator. I know Audrey uses like the crosses indicator for the SARs because I think he also trades the crosses signals. But for me, since I want to be on the lookout also for the momentum signals that fire on the 15-minute and 30-minute time frames, that's why I'm using the momentum indicator. Like for example, here, I was curious to see this buy momentum right here, but I could tell this buy was invalid because it was the lowest candle of this retracement to the downside. But if this candle would have not broken, actually maybe it did like an equal low or something, so maybe equal low, but it actually broke that low. But if this momentum candle had been above this previous candle lows or candles low, that would have also been a nice momentum entry for gold, and you can see gold pushed up from there. But it doesn't really matter what indicator you're using for the SAR strategy. You just, if you're trading the crosses signals, you might want to use the crosses indicator for your SARs if you're trading the momentum. But all of the SAR settings and printed lines on the screens will be the same regardless of what indicator you choose to use. I was taking a screenshot of this picture, this results. Also, I don't Audrey, I don't know if you knew this, but you know that ICT guy, you know, he lives like next to us. He lives in Bel Air.
Oh
I
yeah,
think,
it's close
yeah,
to my house then.
yeah, he grew up in, I was listening to some of his videos yesterday. He grew up in Dundalk and then lived in Middle River, or he grew up in Middle River, has lived in Dundalk and then lived in whatever. But yeah, the guy lives in Bel Air.
Yeah, that's the same. Basically, Dundalk and Middle River, they're close to each other.
Yeah. I didn't know that. I thought this guy was somewhere in California or something, but yeah, he's literally our neighbor. And I've probably seen, because I know he has some Corvettes. I've probably seen him around because if you drive around that area, Bel Air, Middle River, you normally it's hard to come by, but you normally see people with cards that stand out. So I feel like I've seen him someplace. Yeah, but that guy is from our neck of the woods, man. All right. So 6 more minutes for the live session. So I went ahead. So this is what I made, I made, this is on a 200K account. So that's the live trade we took on the live session. And just like that, I'm done for the day. And this is the trade I closed at a break even yesterday. I could have been up 3K on this trade as well, but I really did not want to win a trade that is against my entries. But if you guys look at all the results for me lately, all of them, pretty much most of them are wins for the last few weeks. And it's ideally just by understanding and sticking to my strategy. You can see in the beginning of October, right? There's a time, even for this account, when I was showing you guys, I started after I made a withdrawal on this account, I started off in drawdown. It was a 200K account because ideally I was still learning to use the momentum, and ideally most of the losses that taken were related to the momentum strategy. I was still trying to learn how to use it, but now that I've learned how to use it, it's just that much easier for me, and it, helps me improve as a trader. So this is why I always tell, especially if you have access to my indicators, man, just put in time to backtest and you'll see what works for you and what doesn't work for you. So this setup right here looks like we still have 4 minutes. So if this candle validates down here, yes, the trade will be valid, but is it a trade I'm going to hop on? Nope. So I will wait for a retracement on US 30 somewhere there. But let's see, anything can happen in the next 4 minutes. Also keep in mind, tomorrow we have FOMC. So tomorrow's FOMC is the FOMC I normally care about. If you look at tomorrow, we have the FOMC meeting at 2 p.m. or funds rate at 2 p.m. And then at 2:30, 30 minutes later, that's when you have the press conference by the Fed Chair Powell. So now this is a crazy FOMC. Now Wednesday, actually tomorrow might be so it's either one of the two. So Friday we have NFP, Wednesday we have FOMC. So one of them will be a dud. So it's either FOMC will not be as crazy on Wednesday, but then the craziness comes in on Friday, or it's either FOMC will be crazy tomorrow, or Friday, FOMC will be slow. And hopefully you guys journaled what happens during NFP. I've literally put in screenshots of my journal in this channel right here about what normally happens during NFP. So remember, during NFP, price goes in one direction more times than not. I'm not saying 100% of the time. Price goes in one direction. That's NFP. Price goes in one direction, and before New York open, price retraces to pre-NFP levels. During CPI, whatever direction price goes, there's normally no retracement, even during New York, to pre-CPI levels. But again, remember, not all of the time, but 9 out of 10 times or 8 out of 10 times, those two analysis that I've given for NFP and CPI normally happen. For FOMC, you normally have fake outs, especially that FOMC with the news conference. So I don't trade the 2 p.m. news. The news that really matters is at 2:30 when Fed Chair Powell speaks. So that's what determines the move of the market. So also FOMC, I think last time he spoke, last time he spoke, that's when gold dropped from 19, if I remember correctly. Let's see, we have 2 minutes for this trade to validate or not. If I go down to the daily time frame for gold right here, I still remember that day, and I know it was a sell. For gold, I think it was this day, Wednesday, September 23rd, I think, or 20th. I think that was the last FOMC. Yes, because gold went to 1948. Yeah, that's the day it dropped. So during this time, that's I think Wednesday, and you can confirm, Wednesday, September 20th, that was the last FOMC. Or Thursday, August, I think it's Wednesday, September, this day. So you see what happened. There was fake, and I'm hoping it's this day. Hopefully I'm not misspeaking, but I know either way, whatever day that was the beginning of the meltdown for gold from that FOMC meeting, the one that had a press conference. So I'm expecting the same thing to happen. Also keep in mind for gold, 1 minute, for gold, buy area to watch 1964. That was the last valid momentum buy on the daily time frame, 1964.2. So during FOMC or NFP, I'm waiting to see what gold will do around that zone. So I already gave you that the similar zone for US 30.
How many days of buys have we got on gold now?
We have just 1 second. Oh, it's way past the threshold, but I'll go over that. Let's see what happens. 28 seconds. If this trade closes down here, I need this candle to close. I'm not gonna risk. So I don't know if you guys took the win with me, you're already up 1.5%. I will risk I will risk 0.375. If we get a validation of this trade, I'll risk 0.375, which is $750 on a 200K account, and 375. I'm terrible at math. Maybe 375 on a 100K account. Nope. So the trade invalidated. The continuation candle closed above the double sell SAR zone. So this trade is invalid. Livy, let's see, how many days was that? So this point we count the days. So since gold became bullish was Wednesday, October 11th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's been 8 days since we got the 7-day threshold. So right now, for anybody who's using an EA and for some reason they're still doing buys only, which even for me, I stopped doing that on my EA. All my accounts running the EA are turned off until we get a sell momentum or sell bias on gold. But right now, if you turn on the momentum indicator, you see now if you count the days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so this sell, of course, you would have been wary of it. So also what I've and I think I talked about a little bit about it when the live session started. So if you get two momentum signals opposite of your daily bias on the daily time frame, you just go ahead and forget. If you're running an EA, just go ahead and stop doing. So at this point, yes, if I was still running my EA, I would still be doing buys only. But at this point, I am just pushing it. This momentum, this push up is so heavy, and tomorrow we have FOMC, Friday we have NFP. So yes, like on this particular day, when we had the sell right here, I closed all buys that were open. But then the next day, I think the next day we had a buy momentum. So if I go right here and turn on even the buy signals, the buy momentum was the next. Yeah, so I waited until we got a buy momentum. When we got the buy momentum, I started doing buys only again. Bought for the next 2 days. Yesterday, gold closed with a daily sell momentum. So I went ahead. I didn't have too many buys open, but gold closed with a daily sell momentum. But at that point, I literally
just answer my question. That's what I was going to ask you. So
yeah.
You demonstrated it. All right, thank you.
Yep. Yeah. So at this point, it's just done, because as much as we are probably closing with another buy momentum, sure, somebody can turn on buys only, but if you've had to close trades twice because of a sell momentum, there's probably not a lot of money left for you to make in the market. Yeah, but and US 30 actually completed the threshold today. So I know yesterday, the close of the daily candle yesterday had us buy momentum, but that was the 7th day. So if we count the same thing for US 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So as much as we had a buy on US 30 yesterday, I wasn't worried about that buy. But if we get a buy momentum from today going forward, I will be worried about that buy. Yeah. Anyway, I don't see any other trade setups for today, so that's gonna be it for the day. What was this? EU. So EU, just watch for EU on the 1 minute time frame. So the trade already validated. So this person who had entered this trade, or who would have entered this trade, would be in drawdown again, right? That's the importance of just being patient, especially if you see overextension red flag. So EU, I do like an EU buy. However, you'd have to wait on the 1 minute time frame. But even looking at the general consensus of EU, if you guys see, there is, I think EU is probably, the reason I look at structure for EU is because once FX pairs choose a direction, they normally go that direction, especially because you don't have a lot of volatility compared to gold or US30. But for EU, I like to look at structure for EU because when FX pairs choose a direction, their pullbacks are not really enough to give you like that 30 pip profit TP or 20 pips. So even for EU right here, I think I would rather, if I wanted to buy EU, I'd rather wait for EU to get to, what is this zone? So the first point of completion of structure will be around 1.054. So to me, I think this is a safer bet to wait on EU. And if you guys remember, the last time too on the live session, I drew structure for you guys on EU. It literally came to the same direction, to the same place, and gave like a momentum entry on the, like during Asia session. So even right now, I wouldn't be surprised if by tomorrow during the live session, EU will be around this zone. So I really wouldn't be chasing EU based off of where it is. Also tomorrow's CPI. So remember, the days before heavy news, CPI, CPI, NFP and FOMC that has the press conference like tomorrow. You normally expect the market makers to trap both buyers and sellers. So if EU is supposed to go up, even after FOMC tomorrow, do you think they'll start pumping EU right now? No. So they would start selling EU in order to stop hunt all the people that are trying to catch buys. Also, in the process of stop hunting those people, they're trapping in sellers who are thinking that the sell momentum is going to continue during CPI. So what would happen during whatever FOMC tomorrow? You normally, because price action will probably be something like this. So during FOMC tomorrow, they fake out both buyers and sellers using a big swing up, stop hunt, and then pump up EU like that. So I would rather wait for EU to get to 1.054 area before attempting anything. Yeah, so nothing yet on gold, nothing on US30. Let me know if you guys have any last questions. If not, that will be it for the day. All right, perfect. I will catch you guys tomorrow during the live session. All right, peace guys. Bye.